This episode of What's Going On with Shipping. What else could possibly happen that could impact global shipping that hasn't already happened? I mean, come on, we've had everything happen. What more is there that could potentially disrupt the global supply network? I can't think of anything except for Super Typhoon Chanthu. I'm your host, Sal Mercagliano, chair of the Department of History, Political Science, and Criminal Justice at Campbell University, former merchant mariner, and an adjunct instructor in maritime industry policy at the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. And just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water off East Asia, here comes Super Typhoon Chanthu. Hope I'm saying that right. This typhoon is a bear coming in, Cat 5, rolling in just south of Taiwan right now. And we just got a course change on it from the Weather Service. Initially, it looked like this typhoon was going to pass south of Taiwan and come ashore in China between Hong Kong and Ningbo. But now the typhoon has changed, and the current track has it literally passing to the east of Taiwan and heading up toward the Shanghai area. And I have to say, the first course, which had it going this way here in the Qingyuan, was terrible. This one is equally bad. Give you an idea, here is marine traffic. This big black hole right here is where the super typhoon is. Where there are no ships, that's where the super typhoon is. And what we're seeing right now in traffic is ships piling into the Taiwan Strait, getting into the lee of Taiwan. Usually ships that would come down here on the east side of Taiwan are just jamming right now into there. And if this super typhoon comes up off the coast here, heading up toward Shanghai, you can see the density of traffic right here. It has the potential for major disruptions in terms of ships sailing, ships coming out. The good thing is this is not going ashore in China. There's a big fear of floods. There's already floodwaters in China. Now, of course, this typhoon can change course as quickly as it did the other day. It's got it tomorrow on Saturday being just south right here, southeast of Taiwan. By Sunday, just north of Taiwan. And then by Monday, being right off the coast of Shanghai for the next 2 days. It looks like it slows down. No telling what kind of power this typhoon will have. And again, typhoons, hurricanes have the power to disrupt. If you just go back to Hurricane Ida that came ashore a little over 2 weeks ago now, at the end of August, you can see those disruptions. Here again is a series of reports coming out on GCAPTAIN. Coast Guard's continues efforts to reopen waterways impacted by Hurricane Ida. You can see the number of barges that are on land right there that have been basically pushed ashore. This story right here, 50 bulk ships wait to load grain along the lower Mississippi. The grain silos, the grain loading facilities in the lower Mississippi are without power. And this is not just stringing power lines. The main power distribution lines, the big power lines are down. We're talking if those wires are available and there's replacement for the towers available, you're talking about a week or two to, at the earliest, getting that back up online. This is the bulk ship. These are the grain shipments coming out of the Midwest, which is, again, this is September. This is when they're flowing down in full bore. And bulk ships are lining up, waiting to get this food shipment off. We look at this, the offshore operators face big idle losses, insurers trim cover. Again, you know, the oil manufacturers and the oil refineries and the oil processing and the oil drillers all were impacted by this. Keep going here. Shell declares force majeure on Gulf deliveries after Ida. Force majeure is a force of nature, act of God. Mariners are heathens, so they don't believe in God. So force majeure is basically an act of nature. And basically what they're saying is we can't deliver the fuel we were expected to. And oh, by the way, we can't be penalized for that because this is an act of nature. And I think when your oil refinery is underwater, as you see here, that's pretty much a good definition of an act of nature. In the meantime, we see other issues. One of the things that we saw is a lawsuit being filed by a worker on board the drill platform Noble Globetrotter 2 against his company because Noble Globetrotter 2, which was an oil platform, was not moved out of the way and had to withstand massive amounts of storm damage while in the way. A video really captured that. I'll show you. This is a video that was filmed on board Noble Globetrotter 2 drill ship, taking flooding during the hurricane. The ship was not moved out of the dangerous area, weathered a Cat 4 hurricane, just massive. You can see this crew member right here. That's a survival suit he's actually donning right there. He's putting on. You can see the images out there outside. She got buffeted heavily, was damaged. The Coast Guard had to send a helicopter out to ascertain her situation. Fortunately, the ship did not sink. There was no issues. I don't think anybody got hurt on board. However, there are charges by the crew members, most who are Americans, American mariners, but this vessel is licensed through the Marshall Islands, basically charging that the parent company and the oil company they were working for did not take appropriate measures to move the vessel out of the way. And with Super Typhoon Chanthu coming up into East Asia, there's going to be an issue about moving vessels. When are vessels going to move out of that area and seek cover? You can see that right here with that situation. We saw other issues as a result of Hurricane Ida. The U.S. energy markets have been hit harder than almost any other storm that we've seen. 20% of Gulf of Mexico oil and natural gas production is back online after they battled it, but 77% of the regions remain shut. And this was as of September 8th, so just a few days ago. And again, you've seen the impact, just multiple stories of the impact of Ida. We've seen U.S. grain exports cut because they can't offload. We've seen the issue here with the impact on energy. And again, multiple stories. We had oil spills. We had oil leakages probably caused by disrupted pipelines under the water because of storm surge and the level of the hurricane mixing it up there. And so we're seeing massive impact as a result of Hurricane Ida. What does that mean with Super Typhoon rolling in here? Again, Chanthu rolling in here. Don't know, but this is one of the largest trafficked areas on the planet right here. And you have a super typhoon right now that's heading up here to the east side of Taiwan and is heading right up here into the East China Sea, the area south of Korea, southwest of Japan, Shanghai, major ports right here. When you start talking about trade routes here, I mean, it's massive amounts of trade routes right here we're looking at, and all of them are going to be impacted by the arrival of this storm. This adds to it. Now you may be sitting there going, well, wait a minute, Sal, there's huge lines off the port of Los Angeles and Long Beach right now. Matter of fact, bigger lines than we've seen before. Let's go ahead here to LA Long Beach real quick and look at what's waiting off there. Matter of fact, they've hit the biggest lines ever before. They're about to go up to 50 ships right here. You can see that line forming right off there. Yeah, that's going to disrupt trade coming out of China, but there's 20 to 25 vessels crossing the Pacific right now, heading to jump on this line. And even if this line gets cut down by half, once the storm dissipates and trade resumes again, you're not going to lose this. But no telling what damage it does to the ports in China. No telling what it does to vessels off the coast. No telling what it does to the global supply chain as we see it happen. We're seeing these little hiccups all the time, and this is just magnifying it. Understand, goods for the holiday season, for Halloween, for Black Friday, and for the Christmas season have got to be shipped now. They've got to be going now, and they got to be here. But the best forecast that I've seen says that this backlog is going to remain into mid-2022, which means that the backlog is not going to be cleared until the next holiday season hits, which then puts you into 2023. So this situation is just being hit by issue after issue, and now Chanthu is creating another problem here as she heads in. No telling again what's going to happen here. Hopefully, don't lose any lives, but I got to tell you, East Asia is jam-packed with vessels. Hard to imagine that smaller vessels are not going to get stuck out here and hit. And even though the dangerous side of this super typhoon, which is the front right side of it, is further out to sea, and the least dangerous side is toward the land, this is still a massive typhoon, Cat 5. I mean, you're talking about winds in excess of 150 miles an hour. This is going to cause a lot of damage going in, and no telling what it does to ports and disruptions up and down the coast. So we'll keep you monitoring on this, what's going on. It'll be a developing story. But again, every time you think, man, can't get any worse, it does. So until our next broadcast, this is Sal signing off. Oh, before I forget, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell to be alerted about new videos. Also be sure to give it a thumbs up and share so that you know what the impact of Super Typhoon Chanthu will have on your Christmas shopping. Until our next video, Sal signing off.